Welcome to day 6 of how to automate your law firm in 90 days. I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. Now, if you're watching this video, that means I have won you over and you are ready to import your data into Airtable from Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Or this is your first video. If so, welcome, welcome. I will link the video from yesterday at the top and also in the description box so you can see just a part of the power of Airtable using legal templates to leverage your law firm. Either way, let's dive in. I am on the home screen of my Airtable account. What I want to do is go to my workspaces. Now, there are two ways that you can go to your workspace. You can either click go to all workspaces, or you see on the left hand side where it has all workspaces. And just a brief explanation if this is your first video. One of the powers of Airtable is being able to have different or various workspaces so that you can control who has permissions to view it, edit, create in that workspace, but also in the bases, also known as tables as well. Okay, so for this one, I am going to import my data into my first workspace. And the reason that I want to do that is I want to change the name. When you first come in, your workspace by default will be called My First Workspace. And you see these are the templates that I reviewed in yesterday's video, the legal case analysis and also the legal client general intake form. First, I want to rename my workspace. So I'm clicking on the three dots on the right hand side, and I am going to choose rename workspace. And I'm going to change it to ABC Law Firm. Okay. Now that I've done that, I want to create a new base. Again, that's the same thing as table. So I'm going to click the blue button, create, and I am going to start from scratch. If you notice on the right hand side that when I come to the base, it shows getting started. You can import your work because they knew you would probably be impressed with Airtable and would want to import your data. And you see all of the different ways you can import your data: Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel. You could copy and paste the data in, and also a CSV file as well. I am going to show you how to upload the information using Excel and also Google Sheets, because pasting the data is really simple. All you do is copy all of the data and then you paste it into the table. Okay, let's start with Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to click Excel, and what I'm going to do is drag and drop my file into the space so we can get started. Okay, there is my file, and what I'm going to do is click upload file. Now, once I upload the file, you'll notice that Airtable automatically detects the information. Okay, and it's asking, do you want to change anything before you fully import it into the system? Okay, so for client data, let's see. For the client ID, they have the client ID as long text, but what I can do is I can make it a single line text. Okay, and the only reason that I made it a single line text is you notice that the number is grayed out, and it's saying this file cannot be converted into a number, which is fine. The client ID, single line text. For the first name, I'm going to click on the down arrow, and for first name, we should choose single line text because it's very short. It's just someone's first name. So instead of long text, we're going to make it single line text. Same thing for last name, and how you can see what type it's what field type is chosen. Once you click on that down arrow, it'll be grayed out. Okay. And you see for long text is enter multiple lines of text or generate text with AI. So we're going to choose single line text for our last name. For our phone number, you notice it's long text as well. So I'm going to click on that. And for field type, I am going to go down to phone number. Okay. For the email address, shows long text. I'm going to scroll down and I am choosing email for the field type. For case type, since it just seems like it's a couple of words, I am going to change that from long text to single line text. For case status, if you notice, it has single select. So you can only choose one type of status for the case at a time. We'll keep it as single select. The date it was open, that's the date, and also date closed is a date field as well. Let's look down at the left-hand side where it says all fields. Now, this is great because if you are importing your data, let's say that you do not want to show all of the fields. My apologies, all of the columns. So if we didn't want to, I'm just trying to choose one that would make sense. All of them would be valuable and essential, but let's say email address. If I click off of uncheck email address, you notice that that field is gone and it will not be imported. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click email address back so that column could show as well. Okay, and so that's what this option is right here. When you import your data, you have the opportunity to choose what if all of the columns, or you want to choose which columns you want to import. Okay. Now let's go over to the right hand side. You see the gear and it says other settings. Let's click on that. Now, before we started, and I should have showed you before I began, the auto selected field types, it automatically selected field types for us. But because I started changing them, it turned it off. And you see use first row as headers. We want that on. It's turned on. So everything seems good. I am going to click import. Okay, it's loading the information. And there you have it. We have imported our data from Microsoft Excel. Now, what we can do is we can rename this. Instead of it being grid view, we can rename it and we can say all clients. Okay, we can make this all clients. Now, let's say, and we are going to get to Google Sheets, but I want to show you again the power of Airtable. I showed it a little bit yesterday, but I want to show you again. Let's say that you wanted to share this information, okay? You wanted to share the view, but because of confidentiality, you didn't want to share their email address. You didn't want to share the case type or the case status. Okay. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another grid view and I'm going to put client info. Okay. So for client info, you notice it's the same information that I have with all clients, but for client info, I'm going to do something different. Remember, I want to hide their email address, the case type, or the case status. You know what? for client info, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide case type, case status, the date open and date close, because that's information that I don't want to share. So there are two ways that I can hide these fields. The first way that I can hide them is clicking on each field. So I'm going to go to that specific field, click the down arrow, and then I can click, not delete, hide the field. Okay. But I have four fields that I want to hide. The easiest way that I can do it is I am going to go to the taskbar and I am going to choose hide fields. Okay. And now I can turn on or off which fields I want to hide. So I want to take out case type, case status, date open, date closed, and there you have it. So now you can share this view of the information with just the client information and not all of the extra fields. And this was a simple example, but you can just think of the power of Airtable. And I will, in later videos, I will show you how you can hide different information again as well. So that was showing you how you can import your data that's in Microsoft Excel. Now I'm going to go back to Airtable and let me rename this. I'm going to put client data Excel. Okay. Now I'm going to create another base because I want to import my information from Google Sheets. So you see immediately what popped up is on the right-hand side, getting started. Yes, we want to import our data from Google Sheets. So I'm going to select, you see it says select a Google Sheet. I'm going to go to the drop down. I'm going to connect a new Google account. I'm going to choose my Queen Makita account. I'm going to continue. And I am choosing ABC Law Firm client data. And here we are. And you see, it's the same thing as what we saw when we uploaded our data from Microsoft Excel. Now, what I do want to show you is the other settings. You notice right here where I have, because I didn't change any of my field types yet, auto select field types is on, but watch what happens. And I'm not going to go through changing all of the fields again because we did it with Microsoft Excel. I'm going to drop down, and for client ID, I'm going to choose a single line text, and I'm going to go back, and you notice that auto select field types was turned off. So this has been how you can import your data into Airtable from Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. Also, I showed you how if you want to share that information, and let's say we want to export it. I want to show you how you can export your data. So I'm going to go back to my table where I imported the data from Microsoft Excel, and I am going to choose the client info table that I created where all it's showing is the client information. There is a down arrow, and what I'm going to do is click it. It's right next to the tab at the end of it's on the right hand side of the tab. I'm going to click it, and I am going to choose download CSV. And the CSV was downloaded. And this is what it looks like. Let me drag it over here. And here is the CSV file that I downloaded. And that is it for how you can import data and also export data into Airtable. I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. Now, if you have any questions about AI automations or Airtable, there is a link in the description box where you can schedule a 30-minute consult with me. Have a great day.